Good afternoon and welcome to Lemington's penultimate home league game. 2 draws on the bounce for Paul Holleran's men last week has somewhat steadied the ship after the 4 straight defeats they suffered across March and April, with the Breaks now turning their attention to their final 4 league fixtures and Villa Park's Birmingham Senior Cup final against Stourbridge. Well, Holleran names the same 11 that held Brackley here last week as they seek their first win in 6. A combination of Leamington holding Brackley Town to a 0-0 stalemate and a Gateshead win against Guiseley last Saturday saw the Saints dethroned at the top of the National League North tree as things really begin to heat up at both ends of the table as the campaign races towards the business end of proceedings. Well, today's visitors, Alfreton, have been on an upward trajectory at an electric rate of late, unbeaten in 6 and with just 3 defeats in their last 16, all of which coming against the top 3. Alfreton lining up in their changed light blue strip with the dark blue sleeves, navy shorts and navy socks. Lemington in their traditional gold torso, black shorts and black socks. As both sets of players just carrying out a round of applause to commemorate the NHS heroes that have aided us during the pandemic, which Leamington are celebrating today outside the clubhouse. And now we are ready to get proceedings underway. I have to say it's not been a game of quality so far for either side. Adam Lund. Alfreton still with it on this right hand side. It's a high boot that comes in from Lewis Salmon on Jack Edwards, who gives an almighty yelp as he hits the deck. Edwards feeling the full force of that one into his solar plexus. That's how high the boot was from Lewis Salmon. And the referee reaches straight for his pocket, and Salmon will be the first man in the referee's notebook this afternoon with the caution. Meredith from the right back position with the free kick, sends it long diagonally to the edge of the penalty area. Edwards heads through. It's Lund who's under it for Alfreton. Comes out to Clark, who tries his luck from distance on the volley, not too far away. And Joe Clark watched it all the way down and caught it sweet enough, but it just flashes past George Willis's right hand post. So then Lund looking to ready and looking like he's about to prepare for a long throw, and it will be launched into the Lemington penalty area up towards Reed. Salmon goes down in the penalty area under pressure from Meredith. The complaints coming more from the Alfreton fans behind the goals. The referee waves all the appeals away. Not interested. Turner over his head looking for Devon Kelly-Evans. He's giving Wiley a bit of a tough time, and big shouts for handball led by Devon Kelly-Evans and the Harbury Lane faithful as Wiley just helped it back to his goalkeeper George Willis, and the Leamington fans deemed that he did that unfairly and illegally under pressure from Devon Kelly-Evans. And Jack Edwards is continuing the appeals in the centre circle, but they're falling on deaf ears as play will continue. So 2 big shouts for a penalty at either end for both sides. Lemington had the free kick just over the halfway line on the right hand side. Dan Meredith to take. Got about 10 minutes or so until half time. Leamington 0, Alfreton Town 0. Up it goes towards the edge of the penalty area. Edwards peels away from his marker, sends his header back across goal, and again Alfreton just make a mess of clearing the ball, but Edwards lost his marker, rose in authority, and in the end it's Wiley who has to hack the ball behind for a corner kick. Adam Lund with maybe the final opportunity to catapult the ball into the Lemington penalty area and break the deadlock before half time. And he goes from Lund towards the 6-yard box. Hawkins coming an awful long way, strike towards goal, is in by Connor Branson, and Alfreton Town take the lead and continue their impressive run of form, and the hope for a playoff place is on track for the Red Men. Leamington 0, Alfreton Town 1, looking to remain unbeaten in 15 games, and they're certainly on the right trajectory for that. The ball was launched in from Adam Lund, and it came out to Connor Branson on the edge of the penalty area, who made no mistake and drilled home and fires Alfreton into the lead with a precise finish from the 18 yards. Leamington 0, Alfreton Town 1. The Red Men lead at your Co-op Community Stadium. Up it goes towards Reed, brought down by Lane. Reed again looking to lob Hawkins and almost found the back of the net. Well, an audacious attempt from Matt Reed. He saw something that the majority of people in the ground didn't, and Matt Reed, who already has 10 league goals to his name this season, was looking for the pick of the bunch there, lobbing Callum Hawkins from all about 25-30 yards, but just sails a fraction over Hawkins' crossbar. Up it goes from Willis towards the edge of the Lemington penalty area. Flick through. Adam Walker has to be careful here with Hobson racing on his toes and does just enough to steer the ball to safety. Branson caught up in the midfield with Parker, retreats all the way to Sutton, and Sutton sends it back into the danger zone, and it's brought down by Smith. Here's Southbound now looking to get the ball under control, right hand side of the penalty area, sends it back across goal. Hobson on the volley, couldn't get any purchase reel on it, and it sails harmlessly into the hands of Callum Hawkins, but a fantastic opportunity for Alfreton to double their lead. Branson again has taken up refuge on the edge of the penalty area, hoping that a loose ball would drop for him. In it goes from London in towards the danger area, flick towards his own net by Jack Lane. It looks like it's gone in off Jack Lane. It's Matt Reed leading the celebrations, but I think that might have come off the Leamington centre-back, who's complaining that a push had been committed in there. It's Joe Clark and Jack Lane leading the complaints, but the facts are these. Leamington are 2-0 down at home, and the playoff push for Alfreton continues. They lead by 2-0, and again the throw-in from Adam Lund, the long catapult launch into the penalty area, is proving too hot to handle for Leamington. Breaks 0, Alfreton 2, and the ex-Alfreton man that Leamington bought the player off in 2018 scores a goal in the wrong net towards the back post this time, and it was Salmon rising with a gill test opportunity, and he sends it high and over. So 2-0 to the Red Men. A long way back for Leamington now. There's Lane, well, very interesting. Lane went to head the ball back to his goalkeeper Hawkins. In the end, missed his header, and the last touch came off his leading foot as he cantered back towards his own goal. Hawkins decided that it was safe to pick up, as did the referee, but the Alfreton players leading the complaints for a pass back, but they fall on deaf ears. Time starting to run out for Leamington as the dynamic of the game has been swinging against them since the second half kicked off, really. Alfreton have come out the blocks in the second half, much a better side than the first, with that strike from Branson on the stroke of half-time, I think injecting a bit of confidence into the Alfreton players as English goes down inside the penalty area, and Leamington have a spot kick and a lifeline in this contest when it looked like they'd be devoid of any sort of way back into the game in the final 15 minutes. Well, it was a nothing ball up to Junior English. He just backed into the defender, who was a bit too overzealous in the challenge. English hit the deck right on the edge of the penalty area, but the referee deemed it to be inside the 18-yard box. So from 12 yards, Turner will have the chance to give Leamington a lifeline. Del Baines blows his whistle. It's Dan Turner, right-footed. No mistake from Turner, sends Willis the wrong way, and Leamington have a goal back and a foothold in the contest. Leamington 1, Alfreton 2, a cheap penalty to concede from the Red Men, and Leamington are taking full advantage. Dan Turner, 16th goal of the season. Leamington back in it. This one is not over yet by any stretch of the imagination. We've seen drama in these contests before here. Will we see it again? There is an almighty melee going on in the goal mouth. In it comes this time. It's Reed with a header, whiskers wide from making it 3-1, Matt Reed. So Lund with this throw-in into the danger area. It's met by an Alfreton head. It was Salmon with the effort goal, which straight down the throat of Hawkins. I think either side of Leamington goalkeeper, and the scoreboard would have read Alfreton 3, Leamington 1. Down goes now to man on the halfway line. Nothing doing from the referee. And there is the full-time whistle. Alfreton have seen out their third win on the bounce. They're now unbeaten in 7 as they look to strengthen their playoff hopes and climb their way up the table to sneak in the back door and in with a chance of making the leap up to the National League. Dan Turner did pull a goal back for Leamington from the penalty spot, but it wasn't enough, and Leamington now concede their 5th defeat in 7 league games and have no win in 7. It's finished here, Leamington 1, Alfreton Town 2.
So Paul, 2-1 defeat there to Alfreton. Your thoughts on the game?
Frustrated, obviously. I think when we look back at the goals, we'll be really, really frustrated. 2 long throws that we haven't defended well. Second fouls on the first goal, and listen, conditions meant that kicking down to this end, it was easier. So first half, I think we've sort of percentage-wise sort of got on top with territory and gotten good areas. Probably overran the ball too much. Couple of good half chances, a penalty that, I'm not sure, how that isn't given. But then right on the stroke of half time, listen, Alfreton are a very, very good functional team, very experienced. It's the second time they've come here this year and deserve to beat us, bottom line. And they've got all types of weapons in their armoury. They've got a great target man. They've got lots of legs, lots of experience. Got pace in wide areas. They've got goal scorers. They're a real threat. They could be a real threat if they get in the playoffs. But you wouldn't expect any more. But, the manager's a serial winner, and some of the players are. So listen, good luck to them. Got no issues with that. I think we've got to defend that set play better before half time. They've come out the tails up. We've had to hang on in there. Listen, the biggest thing about us today, we haven't defended our box well. And it's as simple as that. We haven't defended set plays well enough. The second goal's a farce. We've umpteen mistakes, and it's disappointing. The game itself was difficult, and you can't be giving against probably them. Alfreton and Gates are probably the 2 form sides. We can't be giving goals well like we are, because it just becomes difficult. These don't give a lot away. And it was tough. It was a real tough afternoon for us. A glimmer of hope with the pen. It's difficult to get the ball down and probably stretch them and get the ball wide. So it's there's no way of me really glossing it up really, apart from saying it was a tough afternoon for us, and the best team won, and we've got to do better. And I can't really say much more than that really on that.
We saw Stephen Morley come off at half-time, and you said last week about he was injured. Is that he reopened that injury, or was it just a precaution?
It's tightened up again, and Joe Clark as well. And listen, obviously they're finding it difficult on the surface. And listen, there's something there. Steph recovered this week. He did a bit of training. We didn't think it was a problem, but yeah, it looks like a recurrence. Maybe needs a bit of a longer rest. Maybe we'll have to have a look at that. And Joe again. There's something there, but listen, we've got a week. I mean, we've got a busy week, last week of the season, but we've got a free week this week, and hopefully we can patch 1 or 2 up. We might have to rotate a little bit because we're Saturday, Monday, Wednesday. Not ideal after a 50+ game season. But that's where we are. Just got to get on with it. So yeah. So hopefully we can. Hopefully this week, that not having a game in the week will benefit from that. And listen, there's 1 week to go. You can see we're looking a bit flat and tired, and I think we're like a few teams now, just probably know the end of the season to come. But we need to have a good go now. There's 4 games. There's a cup final in there, and we need to regroup because we've took a bit of a beating today.